Greetings, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you out there in YouTube land. Guys, had something that happened to me that's never happened to me before, and that was I felt an earthquake. Well, at the time I didn't know it was an earthquake. I was down on the ground, and I felt the ground rumbling under me, and heard some jars clanking together in the kitchen. And at first, I thought our water heater under our house was exploding. But no, I was like, no, I don't think that was it. I actually went to go check it, and Lacie was in the other room. I was like, did you feel that? Did you feel that? She's like, yeah. And I was like, well, let's check the water heater. And then looked under there, wasn't the water heater, and I was like, that was an earthquake. Wow, I never felt it before. And the epicenter was like 2 hours from here, but we could still feel it here. And it wasn't the first earthquake that we've had in this area, that we felt in this area. Another one happened about 9 years ago, but I didn't feel it. I was in the car driving at the time, and Lacie said she felt it. I want to say that one was like in DC or something, Washington DC, and we felt it down here. I'm not 100% sure, can't remember. But anyways, did you guys feel the earthquake that we had here in North Carolina? Let me know in the comment section below. Well, we got some harvesting to do. Micah, you ready?
Yeah.
You see all those peppers there, Micah?
Yep.
These are really, really hot.
Yep.
So don't eat those.
Nope.
If you're looking for a really, really spicy, hot pepper, then this is the Chinese 5-color, and it is from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds, where we got the seeds from. And it has a kick to it. You can see we have a number of different peppers here, but I really like these. These aren't really spicy at all. It's almost like they have a sweetness to them, with just mild heat. They're really, really good. And here's another variety that we're growing. This year we've been experimenting with growing different types of peppers, and we found that the little ones really grow really, really well for us. And here's another one here, and even look, check out these little, really tiny ones right here. And also, for the second year in a row, we're growing the Mirasaki Japanese peppers, and they are right over here. But Selah and my nephew TJ went to town the other day and really harvested a bunch of these, and I mean a bunch. So these grow really, really, really well. So if you're looking for a prolific pepper, there's one right here. It's not really big, but they get a little bit bigger than this sometimes. This one is really, really prolific. It's not spicy at all. It almost has like a bell pepper type flavor to it, but it's an excellent one if you're looking for a really good producer. Alrighty. Alright, so guys, Selah, if you could harvest the peppers with Micah.
Yes,
let's
sir.
put the hot ones in there. Since it's red, we'll go with hot ones for red, and then we'll go with the green one for the ones that aren't so hot. This is a little big. We don't really have smaller ones, but it'll still work. So Micah, can you carry this?
Yep.
And help Selah out?
Yep.
And I am going to be harvesting some arugula. Arugula.
Do you want me to harvest everything?
We harvest what needs to be harvested. If it needs to be harvested, you gotta harvest it. You know what? And that's actually a really good question. Do you harvest things when they are ready to be harvested, or do you wait and just leave them? And it really depends on the crop. But for most of the crops, when they're ready, you really want to pick them. Now things like your root crops, you can leave them in the ground a little bit longer, except for things like your radishes. You really want to pick them when they're ready. But things like arugula, tomatoes, peppers, things like that, when they're ready, go ahead and harvest them, guys, because they're ready. With crops like arugula, if you wait too long, they can get bitter and go to seed. And things like tomatoes and peppers, they'll actually, if you leave them on the vine too long, they'll get all mushy and won't be the most pleasant thing to eat. However, with bananas, if you can grow bananas where you are, the riper, the better they are for you. Well, that all depends on your personal preference, but the riper the banana, the more nutritional value you're gonna get from bananas. So Think about it. Let's get on this arugula. We've gotten a lot of rain here recently. We've actually gotten rain, I don't know, almost every day for over a week now. And the weeds have just been going crazy. So I have a number of things growing alongside here in my arugula bed, so I have to work around that. But arugula looks good overall. I want to show you guys something real quick that I'm just now noticing. If you see in your beds, say you're growing your arugula right here and it looks good, and then you kind of go down and then you're just noticing, hey, these aren't growing so well. There's a couple things that it could be, but one of the things that it could be is there's not enough nutrients right here in this patch of soil. So maybe when I was adding the fertilizer, I didn't get this area as good. And then another thing it could be, especially if you're noticing some yellowing in the leaves, is it could be that maybe this area is a little bit lower, because I do see some leaves right here that are yellow. Maybe it's sunken down and maybe they're getting too much water. So those are some of the things to watch out for. Could be lacking in nitrogen or something like that, but it could be too much water. Or it could be a combination of both. For a while I've been using this 100-gallon tank to wash our greens off. However, here recently I've really been converting to mostly using these totes right here. And I highly recommend these for those of you who are just small homesteaders or even just a small market garden. Because what I can do is I can just take the greens, put them in here, wash them, then spin them off, and just put them under our fan to dry, and they're good to go. I don't have to use as much water with filling up the 100-gallon tank. These work really, really well and are really, really efficient. From time to time, people will ask me, saying, Mike, since you grow organic, why do you need to wash off your produce? Well, the reason why is not because of pesticides or anything like that. It's because a lot of times leaves and debris and even dirt, like right here on this leaf right here, will be on the plants. And most people, most of our customers don't want to be eating dirt. So we wash that off for them. However, I will say, we have no problem with eating things right out of the garden or off the vine. Besides, a little dirt won't hurt. And I think our environment, we try to make it too sanitary and too clean anyways. We need some good microbiome that comes from just the things out in nature. Our bodies needs that. It helps our bodies to be stronger. Like I said, a little dirt won't hurt. You guys all done?
Yep.
Mommy came to help you out?
Yeah.
Ooh, is that Micah's harvest?
Yep.
It's a cute little harvest. You got there, Micah. Way to go. You guys got the hot peppers there?
We do. And I gotta show you.
Or you even separated it for me.
I didn't, well,
and you got
trying.
some gloves on.
Hey. wasn't using scissors to clip them off. I was just pulling them off, and I did not want to run the risk of touching my face or anything else. But I do want to show you a really cool little pepper. It just started producing the other day. They're tiny and yellow.
That was the one I was just showing these guys earlier.
And yesterday, I just took it and just crunched a little, not even all the way through, and whoo, this one's hot.
I actually haven't tried that one yet, so thanks for the warning about it being hot. And speaking of hot, make sure you wash those hands with soap really good. And don't rub your face.
Cold water.
And cold water, yeah.
Yes. Just like poison ivy, you don't want to open up your pores and let everything sink in. You want to with cold water with soap. There we go.
And these totes right here really come in handy for harvesting, and we got these from Haas Tools. And if you're interested in getting some of these, because they work with all types of different produce,
yeah,
we're going to leave the link in the show notes below for you.
I'll put it there.
All right, so I'll let the arugula sit here just for a few minutes while I come out here and help Josiah He's over here harvesting okra. We'll give him a hand. You harvesting okra over here?
Yep.
Alrighty. So ones like these, perfect to harvest right here. Just about your thumb size is what you want to go with. That's about what that one is. I do see we have a number here that are big. So I don't know what we're gonna do with these. So I think we'll make two different piles, because we do need to harvest the big ones off the plants here as I'm looking down the row here. We have 1, 2, and even a third row of okra down there, and I can see a number of them that are small, but a number that are big as well. I must admit, okra isn't my favorite produce to eat, but I actually don't know many ways of cooking it outside of frying it. But I really don't know what to do with the large one, so we're just gonna harvest these and see if we can figure out something. I wanna figure out some way to use them. I know you can save the seeds. I wanna figure out one way that we could actually use them to eat them.
Daddy, look, an all-natural straw.
Wow, is that from the okra stalk?
Yep.
It's even hollow inside. I'll let you try that straw. It'd be neat if you could cut a longer one and actually use it. See if you can do that. Alrighty, we're almost done with these 2 rows right here, and we have 1 more row right here behind me. But like I said, we got a couple different okra growing, and this is one that we've been growing, and I'm not a huge fan of it. It even seems like when it's smaller, it's still kind of tough. So we're just gonna work with them and see how it goes. But harvest is coming along pretty well. We separated our larger size ones from our small ones here. Regretfully, our small ones aren't as abundant as the big ones. Just means we need to get a little bit more on it on harvesting okra on a more regular basis. I'm thinking we need to do it every day, every other day, but we just have to step it up. Did you find a bigger straw yet?
Yep.
Oh, that one will work. Let's try that out. That's pretty cool. Sounds like you're talking to that grasshopper there. Alrighty, one of the things that I'm noticing here is some of our longer green ones are more tender and softer. And then I go up to some of our red ones, it's not quite the same. So definitely seeing a difference here with our okra and the varieties. And I do know that some of the okra, I can't remember the name of them, but you can let them grow to be about 6 to 8 inches and it still be somewhat tender. But we're just gonna have to try them out. So we got a pretty good little harvest here. Actually, Josiah got another harvest just the other day. So those are in the refrigerator and these are right here. So we're gonna have to figure out, we got a lot of okra to figure out what to do with. Some of them will go to our customers for our CSA, and some of them we're gonna use for ourselves, and then the big ones, we're gonna have to figure that out here in a little bit. Whenever I'm working and harvesting with okra and squash, something on those plants that just make my arms itchy, so I'm gonna wash my arms off. Alrighty, most of us know and understand that vegetables are good for us and that we should have some vegetables in our diet, and that if you're going with organic, it's even better to have it and as fresh as possible. However, most of us don't know that they have vitamins in them, vitamins and minerals and things that are really beneficial to us. For example, a lot of our vegetables are really good sources of vitamin K, vitamin A, and vitamin C. And things like the okra that we just harvested here. Okra is a really good source of vitamin C. But you may be like, Mike, what does that mean? How does that benefit me? Yes, I know it's good for vitamin C. Vitamin C is really good for helping your body's immune system to be strengthened, to be able to fight off various sicknesses, and things like that. But it's also good for collagen with helping with your skin. And take arugula here as another example. Arugula is a really good source of vitamin K, which helps with wound healing, which helps with our blood being able to clot properly. Vitamin K helps with the formation of the proteins that help your body and the blood to clot. So that way when you get cut, you don't just blood just doesn't keep popping out, that it actually does its job to clot and stop properly. So all the different things that we eat, all the things that we should be eating, are packed with a lot of different things that are really, really beneficial to us. Alright, so I'm getting ready to dry out the arugula here, and as I'm doing that, I'm going to listen to a podcast here. I like to listen to audiobooks and podcasts when I can, so that way I continue to learn. Whatever age you are, you should strive to be a continual learner. And one of my favorite podcasts is called Wise Traditions, and it is from an organization called From Weston A. Price, and they provide a lot of great sound information on health, diet, and so much more. So I recommend checking them out, and you can find out their information in the show notes below. They also have a conference coming up that is scheduled for in November in Georgia, and I'm hoping that I can attend that event, because there's a lot of great speakers that will be there, a lot of really qualified doctors to learn from, and other experts in related fields, and really hoping I can make that happen. I'll also leave that information in the show notes below. But let's get started on this arugula.
From the Weston A. Price Foundation, welcome to the Wise Traditions podcast for wise traditions in food, farming, and the healing arts. We are your source for scientific knowledge and traditional wisdom to help you achieve optimal health.
Hey, Hilda here. Fats keep us satiated. Whether you're already a fan of fats or just reintroducing them into your diet, you may still have some questions like how much fat was in most traditional diets and how much should be in our own today. This is episode 258, and our guest today is Sally Morel. Sally is the president of the Weston A. Price Foundation, the author of Nourishing Traditions and Nourishing Diets, among other books, and an advocate for more fat on the plate. She explains today how we can all benefit from upping our fat intake. She breaks down the biochemical body processes that require fat, and she explains why animal fats in particular are a boon to our bodies. Before we get into it, I want to invite you to our conference. It is in Atlanta, November 13th to the 15th.
So about 24 hours ago, we harvested this okra here. But Lacie has been working on it, and she thinks she may have her new favorite way of eating okra. And she's tried with both the oversized okra here and the tender okra. And you know what? She claims that both are good. So what you got going on over here?
I dehydrated the okra. So I used my mandolin slicer and I sliced it pretty thin, and then I just added some oil and some spices and a little bit of balsamic vinegar, mixed it all together, and then put it in the dehydrator. And I did like half a dehydrator full yesterday, and I tried it this morning and I moved it into my jar, and it was about to right there whenever I was finished, but we've been eating on it all day long, and Selah even likes it. And it's really crunchy, not slimy, because I don't like slimy okra, and I know a lot of you don't either. So this is the way to go.
Alright. So I gotta try this. See how it tastes. Like I mentioned to you guys earlier, I am not a huge fan of okra, and the only way that I can eat it is fried, and I could almost take that or leave that, but I really don't like the slimy like Lacie talked about. But let's see if I like this.
Here we go.
Alright, so I have no idea if this is a big one or a tender one, so we'll see.
It's a good snack, isn't it?
Sure is. I like it better than the fried okra.
Me too.
I guess that's my new favorite way of having it too. Yeah, I'll keep eating that.
So, spices, a little oil, put it in the dehydrator, and let it get crunchy. I really like it.
Wow, yummy. So there you go. That's just one idea of what you can do with some of your oversized okra. And of course it's good for saving seed, but when you have it growing out there, you really want to use it, need it if you can. So this is just one way. We're gonna try a couple other things, aren't we?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna bake some for dinner. I have some there, you know, a little oversized. Now some of the stuff that gets really hard and really fibrous, like that one right there, you really can't use for dehydrating or for this. But pretty much anything up until this, as long as you can cut it real thin, you can put in the dehydrator.
So there you go. We're gonna try those couple of those ways out, and we're gonna let you guys know in an upcoming vlog how we like it. But speaking of upcoming vlogs, here in the next couple days we're gonna be visiting Polyface Farm. So make sure you stay tuned for that too, because we plan to do some videos there too.
And for snacks on the road, I went ahead and made a whole other dehydrator full.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna go get this thing started so we can take it on our road trip.
Yummy.